Here we are again, hailing you to come and hail us back, to sit back and engage your warp drive here with us at the Spacebook. It's our YouTube exclusive, raw and uncensored. Oh, I did it quite well, didn't I? Trek podcast stroke vidcast, whatever you want to call it. We're all here again. Hello. Yes, nice and informal. We're recording this on quite a pleasant afternoon in our quadrant. How's it where you are? Yeah. Oh, really? Okay. Well, we'll compare notes in a minute because, as usual, I'm not alone. I've got a whole crew, well, a mini crew, a lower decks worth crew of cohorts about to join me. We're going to bring them on one by one. Now, as you know, I'm Birmingham's King of the Geeks, but there are others. There are other geeks, some of whom are sort of omnipresent Q style, one could say. And here is somebody of that, very much of that ilk, I think, the mega geek, Ian David Pierce. Hello, good afternoon. Yes, we've got to keep thinking of increasingly inventive ways to introduce your meganess.
Well, you know what? You call us lower deck, and I think that's pretty big insult actually to us. Actually, yeah, lower decks.
Well, it's because there's four of us and there's four principal lower deckers. That's right, my reasoning there.
I forgive you.
Don't take offense. Don't take offense, Mr. Brown. I didn't mean that. Hello. Yes, Mr. Brown's back here. He was last on our live shows, weren't you, Mr. Brown?
I was, unfortunately.
Really? I thought it went rather well. But yes,
yeah, it did. Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Brought you back to talk about actual live new Star Trek rather than the old stuff. So you're probably chomping at the bit, and so is he.
Good to be here.
Well, hang around. See how you're feeling now.
I'll do my best.
And here he is. This the last piece. If we were a sort of one of those little cakes that you get when you play Trivial Pursuit, he'd be the last piece that was about to drop in. Here he is. It's the Rabbi from another planet, Sfila Betkin. Welcome back.
How are you, sir?
Wrong side.
In fine voice, projecting that there. Everybody sounds really upbeat this time, and we're 4 weeks into this 10-week mission. It's not broke us yet, has it?
Not yet.
Great episode.
Oh, are we talking about lower decks? Oh no, yeah, that broke me in the first 35 seconds.
Yes, we're talking about when we keep saying it, of course, and when we say it, we mean that very latest Star Trek show, Star Trek Lower Decks, the animated comedy, allegedly, Star Trek show. And we're now 4 weeks in. This is our fourth show talking about it. And yes, but since we haven't had you on yet, Mr. Brown, why don't you tell us, up until this week, how have you been finding Lower Decks so far?
Episode 1, awful. Didn't laugh once. I thought, does it get any better than this? And I thought, well, you know what? We'll see what episode 2 brings.
Yes.
Episode 2, marginally better.
Oh, okay.
Again, episode 3, maybe it's just grinding me down. I don't know. But, yeah, I think it's easy to be negative. It's shite. It's shite. Yeah. But you know what? It's shite, and it does look great on screen. When you look at it and you listen to it.
It's a beautiful show.
It's very well produced, and I get the feeling that the guy who created it, apparently he is a proper TNG fan. Is it Mike?
What? Wait.
What's his name?
Mike McMahon.
TNG fan, really?
Yeah, he is a TNG fan. Yes,
I can imagine him saying that, but
listen.
Visually, I'll agree with you completely. Visually, it's more than competent. I think one of the better animated shows out there. Which just that kind of makes me angrier, quite frankly, that they're putting like this really good quality animation and resources into not garbage. It's not garbage. If it was just garbage, I'll be fine with it. But it's garbage that's taking a huge, I would say, somewhat diuretic dump over Star Trek Next Generation. Like it's kind of like, you know when you go to a public bathroom and the first one you look in, there's a guy with a whirly splat attachment to his bottom has been in there before you. That's the sort of dumb it's taking over Next
And
Generation. How can
and
you like Next Generation? If I like Next Generation and I produce this, I'll be like,
Someone should put a lock
I
in
would
this
see my
guy.
face. I'll be like,
I was just thinking, when you're describing that situation there in the toilet, that sounds like the plot for a future episode of Lower Decks.
I'm sure. Listen, they're listening in. They're going to be dead. They're going to run out.
Season ender.
Listen. Hey guys, listen. Listen,
Right,
guys,
Megan,
listen. Yeah, listen, right? I am really upset that this show is getting all this attention when a better cartoon, much 1,000 times better, like Final Space, is getting none. Have you ever seen Final Space?
Yes.
No, I
Have
haven't
you guys
seen
seen?
it, no.
I'm telling you, you guys should watch Final Space. This
It's
is what
not
Star
bad.
Trek
It's really not
should
bad.
be.
But you know what's annoying? The animation's better on Lower Decks. That's just so annoying. Take those results and put them in. I agree with you completely. It's a far superior show, and it's not great, but it's a far superior show.
I think the animation is about the same in the same league. It's the same thing. But as I said, I'm really upset that this show is getting all that attention and a far superior show like Final Space, which I think I saw the second season. It's far more better, and this is what this show should be like, that cartoon, but it's not.
Has it got what's the loose premise? Before we get stuck into Lower Decks itself, what's the loose premise of Final Space? How does it compare to the Trek model?
Well, it doesn't, but it's set in space, set in the future, and it's about a guy named Gary who's a prisoner on the ship, and he's the only prisoner on the ship, and something happens, and he gets pulled free, and he has to protect this creature called Moon Pie, which he calls Moon Pie, which is a planet eater. Yeah, it's a planet. He can eat planets, and all kinds of craziness ensues.
Really wonderful.
Yeah, it's really good.
I think it's related to Star Trek in the same way Red Dwarf is.
Yeah,
they reference it. It's funny. They make the basic premise of the humor comes from.
It's funny.
Yeah,
it's funny. It's moving. You care about the characters.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give anything away, but at the end of season 1, you're like, I want to see more. And this is how I should feel about this show, and it's not. It's not.
Well, they do shoot for this. With this 4th episode, they do shoot for that kind of balance. They're going more for the interpersonal angle to the characters and trying to grow the characters a little bit with this one. I feel so. Yes, let's remind ourselves.
How can you grow a character if the main character is rude and obnoxious? I mean, she's obnoxious and she's not funny.
That opening scene where she's like rolling around, I'm like, I hate this when if I go into the Starbucks and I get somebody behind the counter like that, I'll go sod it. I'll get my coffee somewhere else. Like that, just that opening scene right there. And again, it is this like youthful entitlement, like, oh, this is so beneath me. No, it's bloody not. Hand out the soldering pads and shut up. I can't.
But
have the Next Generation. Picard would have had her off the ship in a second.
I mean, listen, right? It starts off
the ship.
It starts off right with the captain and the friends, the friends of the other ship, and they're all talking about so and so, and she deliberately goes around yawning and being a pain in the ass, right? You would have just fired that person, or you just kicked them off, kicked them out the room, put them in the brig. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
I don't even think they're putting a brig. I think they're putting on shuttlecraft, like with a low warp capability, back to Starbase. So
and also, the mother keeps complaining, I want her off the ship. She's this, she's that, whatever. She's the captain. She's the captain. You can easily put her in a space shuttle and get her on another ship. What the
scenes like that? They're exactly what Mr. Brown was saying. They're deliberately playing off the visual language of TNG. I mean, of course, Mike McMahon is going to say he's a big fan of TNG because his entire show really sort of borrows from it, from the font on the opening credits to all the set detailing. It's the closest that it's to, and it's the one that it's subverting the most. But Mr. Brown, is it?
I will say, if it's true that Mike, he is a genuine fan.
My man.
Yes. Teeth in. Maybe his hands are being tied, and maybe he would genuinely. If the show was as quality as the 70s Star Trek cartoon, with storylines and stuff like that. This would be a winner, but I get the feeling that maybe his hands are being tied by who.
Klutzman.
Possibly.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, there was after 2009 Star Trek. There was Robert Orsi was talking about doing an animated series set in that world, which really I saw some of the production design of it. Really interesting.
The concept art was amazing.
Yeah, I was really. But Robert Orsi,
it reminded me of. Go on, sorry.
Writer and Star Trek fan.
He's a Star Trek guy as well. He's a Star Trek guy. Genuinely Star Trek.
With that series, they were going straight.
I don't think Kurtzman can.
But guys, you know what they should have done with this show? They should have done what they did with the Batman animated series. So Batman came out with Michael Keaton and everybody went crazy over that film. Then they decided to do a Batman cartoon series. And it wasn't a comedy. It was a really good, straight Batman cartoon in the same tone. And why didn't they do this with this cartoon?
It's funny to say that, Mega Geek, because the cartoon that the rabbi was talking about a minute ago, in that concept art, if you remember, it was very much like Batman the animated series. It was quite stylized, like Darwin Cook style. Go on, sorry, Rabbi, what were you going to say?
What was I going to say? Well, what were you saying, Maggie? I was just replying to what you said.
If what's going on, if it was fine-tuned and got rid of all this kind of Mariner stuff and all that, I don't mind it as a character being in it.
But she's the main character.
I know. If it was adjusted, you know, like the Orville thought it was going to be a comedy, and you could see it evolve into something else over the.
Well, you know,
it's the same was to go on here. It's all there, but it's just the hands are being tied. It's all there. It could be a winner. It could be a winner.
On this. Finally, my premise for this show is this: that Seth MacFarlane came to CBS to pitch the Orville, whatever this Star Trek Orville, right? He said, what are you talking about? No, go away. We got Kurtzman and Klutzman there. So he went away. He did a show that resonated with Star Trek fans a lot more. I think probably much more successful than all their far more expensive shows. Yeah, I think.
But if you compare it to,
I think they were looking at that. They saw the success of the Orville. They said, "Well, let's do that." They had the. I think the reason it feels Star Trek-y is because each episode is using a log line from Seth MacFarlane's original pitch. For his show. That's the only reason it feels Star Trek-y. Nothing else about everything they do on the show has no relation to Star Trek whatsoever beyond visually.
Okay, so if you compare this to, say, Red Dwarf, okay, so if you look at the characters in Red Dwarf very carefully, right, you got Lister, right, even though he's very intelligent and he doesn't apply himself to his full potential. We know that he could be a really great guy, but he doesn't. He's lazy, he smells, he eats curry, he drinks a lot, he's become overweight, and he's the hero, right? And then you got Rimmer, who's a complete loser, utterly complete loser, but he has some redeeming values, and sometimes he saves the ship. Remember that episode, the last, I think was season 3, whatever, he literally saved Red Dwarf from destruction. Yeah. But with these characters, there are no, especially the main character, there's no redeeming factor about her at all. She's arrogant, she's rude, right? She's good at everything. And that's where it falls down for me. It's the main character and and the way they treat the male characters in this cartoon. Like, for instance, in this episode, the guy that's in charge of the other ship, he's so stupid. You know, that's exactly why that stuff happened.
I had noticed that, and he's obviously a captain at the same level as Captain Freeman. And yes,
this is the main problem with this show. This is the main problem, that basically they're using the agenda again to try and convince us. You all you got to do is look carefully what's going on. This is what's going on. So what can I say?
Could I just say that maybe Kurtzman is a very, very easy target to blame for everything. Maybe it's the people above him that are telling him what to do.
I doubt it.
Well, until recently, I'm not sure there was anybody above him. I know that Emma Watts has come in now, and she's completely restructuring Star Trek. Absolutely everything. So Alex Kurtzman, the book does not stop with him now. I think it probably did until fairly recently. The rumor with that is she's restructuring it to sell it.
She's trying to clean it up so it can be sold. Right now, it's not saleable.
It's possible. Before we get too deep into the rest of it, just in case you haven't seen it yet, or it's been a few weeks, whenever you're catching up with us, this is episode 4, entitled Moist Vessel. And this is how it rolled out. Ensign Tendi spends her time trying to fix a colleague's botched spiritual ascension, while Mariner finds herself assigned to a series of menial and demeaning tasks aboard the Cerritos after disrespecting Captain Freeman in front of the crew. It's written by Ann Kim and directed by Barry J. Kelly. There we are. Now we know.
Good old Barry.
Few memories. So yes, we've got the A and the B plot. They are sticking to that pretty rigorously. That's a Star Trek pattern, a very, very basic framework for an episode as set out during the TNG years, and they're sticking to it quite stringently here. Some of them, I think, are working better than others. I'll be honest, at the start, this episode for me was a step up from all the previous ones. I enjoyed it a lot more, and I'm not entirely sure why. I'm hoping to in an hour or so, by the time we finish speaking, whether my brain has just sort of powered down this weekend, because it's been a rough week.
I think it's wearing you down.
Or whether the show is actually getting better. Because the things that I disliked, the things that I've disliked about it over the last 3 or 4 weeks, I still dislike them. Absolutely still do.
But that's the trick, isn't it? That's the trick they're trying to pull on you, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah.
So
none of the characters are becoming more endearing, are they? Like, if anything, Tendi got more annoying. She got she was the one character I was like, yeah, I wouldn't mind being in a room with that character. And now, oh no. Like, why do they think all these neuroses are funny?
I like Tendi.
I liked her until this episode, which was utterly awful.
I feel like I'm watching variations. Even though I enjoyed this one a lot more than the others, I still feel like I'm watching not so much a series that's being refined, but I feel like they're going over the same ground every single episode, hitting the exact same beats, just in a different arrangement.
That's right.
And
when you got no character development, that's what you're going to get, aren't you?
Yeah, and it dawned on me. Actually, before it actually happened this time, the episode resolves itself yet again. This is only 4 episodes in, and now 2 of them have been solved. The jeopardy has been solved by gas being dispersed through the ventilation system of the ship.
Well, another thing that annoys me as well is logic. Again, logic, right? These things are smashing through the ship. If they're coming through the ship and making holes in the ship, wouldn't everybody be blown out the ship? Yeah, they're all still in the ship. So, it really... And don't talk to me about the shields, right? Because the shields doesn't work. Because if the things can go through the shields, that means they made a hole in the shield. So basically, everybody be blown out. So it doesn't make any sense. None of that makes any sense to me.
What, the shield's down? The shields
no.
I hate
if it had shields up.
Waste my time thinking about it. But the shields might have been down, and look, there are ways you could explain that. But I don't think they thought about it. I don't think they know anything about Star Trek. Honestly, do you?
The idea that a starship that's quite small
know anything about Star Trek.
Well, the idea that a starship that's quite small has been turned into, and what you're talking about there, Mega Geek, has been turned into an ecosystem, hasn't it? It hasn't just been a deck. It's not a holodeck situation. It's not even a small, confined crisis. As you said, the hull of the ship was broken, and the ship was entirely compromised and reworked Genesis planet style. To be supporting life and to be its own ecosystem. And
I thought they were going to reference Genesis in this.
Didn't have to, did they?
No, they don't know about it because they're morons.
Can I just say something? Right, I'd like to say that I got to agree with Dan. I did enjoy this episode more than the previous episodes, but again, I cannot support this. Do you know why? Because it's still carrying the agenda. Now, if it wasn't carrying the agenda, the Green Girl story, which I can't remember her name, it would have been the other way around where the guy helped her. But it isn't. I cannot support a show. Right. I cannot support a show that that has this agenda in it, no matter how good it is. I'm sorry, but I can't. I want my shows to be equal. I'm not against women being in charge. I'm not a sexist.
I'm against
not
these women being in charge.
But all I'm saying is that, yes, I did enjoy it, but unfortunately, I cannot support it because it is still playing that agenda, which I do not like. And I will not support anything that has that agenda in it because it destroys TV shows. But anyway, that's just
in
me,
my
right?
view. This would have been better as episode 2 because as much as the eye rolling at one point, and it was the same last week actually. At any given point, if there's 3 people in a scene, at least 2 of them are rolling their eyes at either one of that or the situation.
Yeah.
And it's just annoying. It's just too much. It's trying too hard to be edgy, to be a bit Family Guy, to be very aware of the fourth wall. We know who they're rolling their eyes and looking at. We know what we know what reaction they're trying to get from us. This was closer to funny Star Trek than spoofing Star Trek, but because its grasp of Star Trek itself, as the rabbi just said, is so loose, again, it's all over the place. The scenes in the ready room, I didn't find them. That's the kind of thing that I expect to get in this show, but it's just not written. It's just not being written funny. I think it's being written almost with spite. The plot.
I agree with you. I do agree with you.
And I can't figure out why, though. I don't know why.
It's the agenda.
It has to.
I don't think it's just that. I think it's written by and for the idiots that live on Twitter that live for that mic drop.
The agenda.
Listen, that's the exact expression.
Guys, tell me what man in this episode did good.
No one ever does.
Exactly my point. And this is the reason.
I think it's a combination of the two, though. I think it's terrible writing by people who aren't funny and, in fact, quite mean and nasty.
No. The writing is okay, right? It's just not funny, right? But besides that,
the writing would be okay if this wasn't Star Trek. And it
listen. Look, as I said, I agree with Dan. This episode was far more enjoyable than the other 3, but it was still throwing that agenda. When they get rid of that crap, we can make proper Star Trek, or even have a proper cartoon Star Trek. But this crap, no, we can't.
It was paced better, and I felt that the balance of the A and B plot. I didn't feel like I was being beaten around the head with something very, very loud and sharp. Occasionally, it took a moment to take a breath. And as I say, that they were trying to do the interpersonal relationships thing, but unfortunately, still everybody in it is a pain in the arse, so it doesn't work. I mean, you're right though about this guy that Tendi goes to help out. He's even got a cock and balls around his neck there in that picture.
Exactly.
It couldn't be more blatant.
They want to, as I said, they're trying to do it subtly this time round, but it's still there. As when they get rid of that stuff, that's when I'll be supporting Star Trek, but not until then. As I said, don't get me wrong, I love women. I have a girlfriend, you know what I mean? And I respect her, but I'm just saying, I cannot watch this stuff anymore. I can't. In fact, I almost stopped watching Stargirl, but in the end, I really liked it. There was some little bits of stuff in there, but in the end, it was kind of, they pushed it aside to tell the story. And I started off not liking it, but Dan says, keep watching it. And I watched it and I really enjoyed it. So there you go.
I meant to ask you about Stargirl, actually, because I continue to enjoy that. Yeah. But agenda is going to, I don't think they're going to let go of this agenda. I really don't.
No, they can't.
All 10 of these were conceived at the same time. It's not a rolling thing. They haven't got the time in between episodes to find out what works and what doesn't, and more importantly, to gauge the audience response. Who do they like? Who do they not?
Oh, the audience response has been dire. CBS worked so hard to hide the viewing figures. The viewing figures we got from Canada are like, I think there's more people. I think there's more characters on the show than there are people watching the show.
Yeah.
Really, it was down to 200,000 people on the second episode.
I think Gary gets more viewers than an episode of this.
He does. That's the one thing. He really does.
It's crazy, right?
And listen, I mean, honestly, if they got rid of the agenda, wrote it like Star Trek, and if they kept the plot, the basic log lines are fine. Basically, basic premises of apart from this one actually wasn't. If the accident happened in a less stupid way, with a less like man-hating way, then fine. But like the actual log lines, like the first episode, Second Contact, great idea, love it. Hate the execution, hate the main character, hate all the characters. You know, none of them are anything like anybody you've ever seen on Star Trek. See, the good thing about Star Trek was people used to lift each other up. They used to be nice to each other.
Yeah, they did.
It was an aspirational show and an inspirational show. Now, look at the expression of Mariner there, right? Like, why is she so mad for?
I mean, do you know,
why is your life so terrible? What's wrong with you?
Even last
facing the oppression of being a woman. I don't know, being a black woman. Okay, what is wrong with your life? Get that sour puss off your face. Get that
it's a cartoon.
get that disdain rolling off. You're like, you're not better than anyone. And see, that was the great thing about Star Trek. Even Picard had humility.
Oh.
He didn't think, oh, I'm the best guy. No, everybody had humility. Humility is the cornerstone for personal growth. You know
what? Even the last episode when they had that guy, the Captain Kirk guy, right? And he was great. Right. He beat up that alien. They even brought him down at the end as an idiot. And in this one, the guy that was the captain of the other ship, he seemed very stern and, you know, we served together and all that stuff. And they made him look like an idiot as well. And then the other guy who wants to wants to go spiritual, at the ending, he said he was faking it all.
Yeah, if it was
every male in this episode was stupid.
The lack of
that didn't ring true to me either.
Star Trek, spirituality, goodness, human beings, space, physics, time, humor. They're striking out in every possible level. So, like, you know, it being slightly less awful.
At the end, he goes.
Doesn't win any points by me.
At the ending, the guy goes, I can see everything. I'm one with the universe. I don't want to go. And he goes. And she goes, oh, bye. Do you know what I mean? It's all her fault that this happened. Do you know what I mean?
I did laugh at this moment. I thought this was really quite funny with the smiling koala. Right. What? It's a smiling koala. Why is he smiling? I thought I did like that. I laughed. I think three times in this episode. So that's as many times as I've laughed in the entire, all the three before, all 2020 so far. Yes, so when I say laugh, I would describe them more as chuckles. But yeah, that did amuse me. That did kind of make me laugh. But the entire time I was very aware. It just seemed like a handbrake turn. And you could say, oh, would you want all your TV to be predictable just because it outwitted you? You didn't see this coming. I think that that when good writing pulls something on you that you didn't see coming, you generally, I think you applaud, or people who are, I don't know, people with something about them applaud anyway. But when you're aware that a story or a character has been sort of mauled into position, and that a handbrake turn's been pulled, it's down to bad writing. I think we know instinctively, or we just bad writing. Okay,
do you know what? Do you know what I equate this to? Sorry, Dan. Do you know what I equate this to? I equate this to the Black and White Minstrel Show on BBC One. Right. So when Black and White Minstrel Show got released on BBC One, everybody thought that was a great show. They loved the singing, they loved the dancing, until they realised what it was about. And it's the same thing with this show, right? There are loads of normies out there going, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine, until they realise that they're basically beating men. That's exactly what they're doing. So, you know, we can see it, but they can't.
I think people are gradually coming around to the fact they're joining the dots, and they're seeing that the things that we're seeing and the things that we're sort of waving the sort of red flag about, saying, well, they've just done it again. At first, people thought that the likes of us, that our voices, that we were being oversensitive, that we were imagining things, or that we were, in a sense, the political ones who'd been triggered. But it's just shit. It's just shit. It is just the fact that we've seen it over and over and over again. It's been done in a very, very ham-fisted way, and now they're doing it repeatedly. They're pulling the same strokes repeatedly. Like I say, it is basically the same over and over again. The BBC are masters at it now. On this show,
you don't want the BBC to be your template.
May I just say? Obviously, you guys, your knowledge is far superior to mine, and I only just. It is. I only just started picking up on this, the kind of lecturing and all this type of stuff, just before lockdown, and I thought,
that's only recent then.
Yeah, probably early this year, I kind of realised what was going on, especially with the BBC. It all just kind of one day, it all just clicked into place.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm getting sick of being lectured at. I just want to be entertained.
Same here.
And there's far too much negativity. I just want to be entertained. It's easy to be negative about everything, and it's just the way of the world at the moment. I just think it's all gone to shit.
But that doesn't mean to say you shouldn't speak about it. That doesn't mean to say that you shouldn't talk about it. And that's the thing you see. Listen, guys, listen, right? There's an old saying, and I think it was in a Zach, what's his name, film. Is what is it? It's if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, right?
Yeah.
That's saying, right? And if you don't stand for what you believe, that's what's going to happen. And that's the thing with this show. It's definitely still got the agenda. It's undeniable. Again, I keep saying it every week. It's undeniable. And then what do you do about it? You either watch it and support it by being stupid, or you talk about it, or you don't watch it. And you know what? I'm only watching it because I get it sent. And I have to be on the show. So it's the only reason why I'm watching it.
Only my father calls me stupid, Ian. Only my father.
I'm not calling you stupid. I'm not calling you stupid at all. Not at all. Not at all. I do not call anyone stupid. All I'm saying is that if you have to, you can't sit on the fence all the time. You have to get off the fence and try.
Please.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we want.
That's what we want.
Can I ask you? You only just started to notice this. Like for me in Star Trek, it really kicked in with Star Trek Discovery season 2, from the first episodes of season 2.
Yeah.
I was
fine with it for season 1, most of it. But I thought the first 10 episodes.
Mikey Spock. Fair enough. Well, I will be honest.
Having Lieutenant Mansplainer in the first episode of season 2, the guy existed just to get blown up because he didn't listen to Mikey Spock, right?
Yeah, that was Chris Chibnall level of writing, that one.
Oh,
yeah, it was.
Hello, I'm gay. Bang. That kind of thing. You know, it was on that kind of level. Yeah. Something happened. I know we've spoken about this before.
Maybe it's written for the audience it's intended for. The kind of
I don't think so. There's no audience.
Well, that's a good
3 second attention span.
That's a good question, actually, because the three of us have been talking about this for the last few weeks. So what I want to ask you, Mr. Brown, is I'm still not sure who this show is for. Who do you think it's for?
Normies.
I know it's for.
Mr. Brown, and then we'll come back to you. See what you guys think.
Come on, Mr. Brown. Come on.
I still don't know.
This is me put on the transporter pad, isn't it?
I'm with you. I still don't know, mate.
I would probably say people in their 20s, maybe a little bit younger, that kind of 20-ish age group who are watching television, have got an iPad in their hand, on the phone at the same time, while doing something else. The 5 second attention span.
Sounds like my nieces.
So how about you then, Rabbi? Does that sort of dovetail what you?
I think this is written for Alex Kurtzman and idiot executives, right? Hey, let's get to the kids, because it was just the idiot plan that they had to do something that wasn't going to work. And clearly, if anybody had a brain in their head in the room, would say, yeah, no, that's stupid. You don't do that. That's stupid. Yeah, no, it was written for them and their focus group, so they can pat themselves on the back and say, look, we're producing Star Trek, and it got them, it got them an extra 6 months worth of work. Got an extra 6 months that his contract wasn't cancelled for like gross negligence.
Another thing that
it's written for them. Kids don't want to watch this. Only people who don't have kids would think that kids would want to watch this. Kids do not want to watch this. They watch.
I don't have kids, then, so correct. Well done, Rabbi. Well done.
Do you know another thing that bothers me as well is that there seems to be a trait going through Discovery, this show, and Picard. There's always a character in there that's really has done something, but yet doesn't get punished for it. And all of them are female. I'll give you an example, right? Mikey Spock, right, committed treason in the first few episodes of Discovery, yet that's all forgotten. The girl in Picard committed murder, yet that's all forgotten. And this character, the main character in this show, is completely and utterly unlikable, causes pain to other people, and yet all of that's forgiven. So do you see the pattern that's happening in these shows? What they're saying is it doesn't matter what women do, they can murder, they can upset people. Because they're a woman, they get a free pass. And if you think I'm exaggerating, check out the other shows that I just mentioned. That's all I can say.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think you're right. Well, Ian, I think the issue's like this: the blue check marks on Twitter that rule the planet now, right? Yeah, I mean, the Mr. Brown. I forgot your first name, Mr. Brown. You were saying that this is the world we live in now. I don't think this is the world we live in now. I think everybody's a bit pissed off with this, and everybody's had enough. It's just this little bubble on Twitter that's saying, "Oh, it's so stunning and brave." That's really what I think is
there's
going
a lot
on.
of negativity on Twitter. A lot of
but I think
no boundaries.
Most people are quite happy to be friends with each other, right? Most people don't care if you vote a different way from each other. You tell these blue-haired weirdos that live on Twitter that they vote a different way. There's like, well, I gotta kill you then, obviously.
The thing is, we should be ashamed of ourselves that we didn't stop them in time. We didn't even see it coming. These people that are now in charge, we never saw it coming. And do you know what? It's our fault. We should have saw it coming. But anyway.
I did wince earlier in the week when I heard, and I thought directly of Lower Decks when I heard that Chris Carter has just okayed and greenlit a new X-Files comedy animated show called The X-Files Albuquerque, which sounds
old show that's well past its expiry date. Revive it, and then let it die again, and then revive it again, and then wait another 15 years, and then revive it again. Let it die. Now let's make a cartoon of it. Really? I mean, listen, Chris, what do you need? A new Paul? What's wrong with you? Just give it a rest.
Do you know what?
There's something very cynical about this announcement.
If X-Files was made today, Scully would be the one that's in charge. It wouldn't be Mulder. Definitely not Mulder. But that's where it goes in it.
Let's take a little look here at some of the calling cards of the Star Trek universe that we got. Things that may have jogged your memory.
The Traveller was on today.
You're hurting me.
Yeah, there's the Traveller. He got mentioned, didn't he? He got a name check. And remember that stuff you liked? Remember all that stuff you liked? Now we're going to rip the piss out of it. And we got a Tellarite. That's what they're supposed to look like, of course. They're normally not the most friendly of people, but quite accomplished people, capable people, I always thought. And a generation ship there. We've seen several of those in science fiction, but Voyager, particularly in Star Trek, that's a still from an episode called The Disease from season 6, I think, 5 or 6.
Social media disease.
Wow. I'm looking at it going, I used to think Harry Kim was a bad character. Now he's fun. Now they can put a show around him compared to like everybody personal trip.
Do you know another thing I want to point out, guys? Is remember when the BBC was saying that they want to, they were going woke, to use a word. They were saying they want to put people of color in the front and females and stuff like that. Ask yourself one question, right? Where is there a TV show, right? Is there more TV shows with lead females than there are black people in lead? And the answer is yes. So the BBC and all these people that are being woke, they never had any intention of putting people of color in the front. They just said that to move things
what
forward.
Is the deal with that? I mean, honestly, look, okay, I'm a white guy. I've been a white guy all my life, and I don't think it registers on me what skin color you are. But why would they not have black people? It's the weirdest thing, isn't it?
They are.
I think they are racist.
Deflecting.
I think they're racist and trying to
for their own values. That's what they're doing.
I mean, there's only one show that has a black lead, and it hasn't even started yet, which is Batwoman. That's a black lead.
No,
there's
what's
Black
name?
Light.
Yeah, Black Lightning. Yep. And what else?
I got through the first 10 minutes of that because it's all. If they have black people on TV, if white people write black people, because I'm telling you, most people aren't racist. But if they have black people on TV, they can either be oppressed and like be like overcoming this awful oppression, or if they're a guy, they're a wimp, or if they're a woman, they're a sassy lesbian. Yeah, they're the three choices you have.
Do you know what? Right, another thing I've noticed as well. Have you ever seen the trailer for Tenant? Right, it's a black lead, right? And they play, and during the trailer of Tenant, they play hip hop or whatever it is music because the lead is a black lead. So by using that logic, when they had the film, when they have a film with say Ben Stiller, should they not play, Jewish
Fiddle on the Roof?
Yeah, Fiddle on the Roof in the trailer. Every time there's someone of color in a trailer, they always play some kind of funky,
street sort of
street. Why?
Okay, I think I'll tell you why. The conclusion is the entertainment industry is racist. I think it's like most people aren't, but I think people in the entertainment industry are genuinely racist. Don't you? I mean, like the only thing you really,
gentlemen, it's deflection. It's deflection. It's all deflection. That's what it is. All of it.
But the real big problem they have is they demand like this like insane representation in everything. You got to have everything like completely disproportional from what it is. Like everybody's gay.
It's a box ticking now. I'm not one for pulling out that trope. I think it can be quite a lazy thing to say. But now we're in a situation where people are absolutely box ticking.
Absolutely. People are noticing as well.
People are wising up to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so. But here's the problem. They fill the shows with people of BAME or like protected class of people, right? And then you can't have anything bad happen to them because then you're being hateful. So you just got everybody being amazeballs and like it's just boring.
Well, Rabbi, did you hear that? It's even happening in comics the other day. Last week, Boba Fett killed a couple of people in the latest Star Wars comic, but one of them happened to be black, and people lost their mind.
I put a video out about it a week ago.
Yeah. And you know what, right?
Closing my channel for me. Thank you. In fact, that was the premise of my video. Now I recall that if you have like marginalized people, you can't have anything bad happen to them. If anything bad happens to them, you're then the race. These people are
listen, right? So my words. Okay, so they're going to remake Trains, Planes, and Automobiles with Will Smith. With Will Smith, right? Look at the trailer. So listen, yes, they are. Right,
I like Will Smith, but
Will Smith and who's the little black guy that's really funny?
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart, right? So Will Smith and Kevin Hart. Right? Look at the trailer for the original Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And I bet you, if they do make this film, I bet you the trailer will have some hip hop music playing in it. Right?
You're right.
I bet you. Right. I bet you. I can bet you £1 million that's going to happen, right? And that if that doesn't say anything about how we think or about how Hollywood thinks of people of color, then I don't know what. I don't know.
You want to know something? You want to say real entertainment for the black community, made by the black community, is good. Like Tyler Perry movies are always entertaining.
Right.
And they never have all these like ridiculous tropes or something of black people suffering under oppression and being noble. No, they just have fun.
Just about people, and they're funny, and they've got genuine heart, and the characters
and have flaws.
You're right. Now you've mentioned it. Yes, you're absolutely right. I haven't seen many of those, but if the rest are like the one
check out the trailers of anyone that's the lead with that they're of color and it's the lead. Check out the trailers.
Now you've said that.
Yeah, you're
playing.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you've said that, Mega Geek. I know that you're right. I know that this keeps happening. And
I know, but we should be talking about Lower Decks. But I'm just I went off on a tangent. I'm sorry.
We're talking about Star Trek.
Yeah, talking about Star Trek. But
talking about Star Trek. I mean, we've mentioned this before. This one, probably more than all the others, was full to the brim of kisses back to TNG. Remember the poker games. Remember when they used to do stand-up. Remember, it was remember. And I suppose if you're if you're spoofing something, then of course you're going to do that. That's what the Naked Gun films, the airplane films, that's how you know something is a spoof.
No, but they all did it with
Here-
love.
Yeah,
They all
did.
did gun movies. Like they loved those crappy cop movies, and like they Police Squad was a TV show. They
Yeah,
called it.
yeah.
Police Squad.
Yeah, you know, Airplane loved the disaster movies.
So
This-
although it might be quite fun to have some of those ideas in theory in play, like a riff on the Ready Room scene, you know, things that I knew we were going to get, and that scene where the captain is sort of here's this guy doing his improv comedy thing, you know, which I did chuckle at that because I can't stand improv comedy, and so that did make me kind of chuckle. But again, like I said last week when we were talking about the captain, about Commander, what's his name? Commander played Jerry O'Connell. Ransom, that's it.
Right.
Commander, when he rips his shirt off, it still doesn't feel like they've earned the right to play with those toys just yet. And the fact that it says Star Trek across the top of that logo, and then they've used the fonts and all that sort of thing, is the only real sort of claim they've got to it. I'd rather they concentrate on the rest before keep going for that. But does none of that really? I was going to say, does any of this wash with you? It doesn't, does it? Any of you really? It's not buying us, and I can't see. You know, Mr. Brown, you were talking about those 20-year-olds. If they're finding the 20-year-olds who are au fait with TNG in particular, maybe then. But to be honest, I can't see that either.
If I've offended any 20-year-olds, I do apologise.
They just call us boomers anyway.
My son's 20. He wouldn't be offended by that at all.
If I haven't offended anybody who's 20, I apologise because you deserve it. You got it coming here. Pull yourself up and do better.
Have a word with yourselves. Speaking of which, let's go back to a happy place, because I have been reconnecting this week. I have seen a new episode, a new old episode of TNG. I'm back in with Series 3. I've watched the Survivors this week, which I could only very loosely remember. But just in case you haven't seen this for a number of years or have never seen it, the Enterprise responds to a distress call from a Federation colony, only to discover the entire planet has been wiped out, save for a small plot of land on which they find a house and 2 aging scientists. Troy correctly senses something unusual about the couple, but before she can explain or detect in more detail, she starts to suffer by hearing of some.
We're all suffering.
Yeah, we're all suffering at the moment. So, yeah, she hears this melody playing in her mind constantly on a loop. But yes, I had totally forgotten about this episode, and you know, it's kind of what we were just talking about with the interpersonal stuff they're trying to do on Lower Decks. I think you can pull out pretty much any episode of TNG, particularly when it was at the top of its game. But to be honest, even in the seasons that you may think aren't very good, you can pull those out and find interpersonal relationships just running like clockwork, happening so naturally, almost as if the writers, as if the characters are writing themselves. I'd say even as early as season 2 on TNG. This episode is quite high concept and mysterious. It's directed at maybe it's a little plodding. You know, it sort of hops from place that they're on the Enterprise one minute, back in their home or garden the next, and it's quite mundane really, but it was so refreshing after seeing.
What's the name of the aliens that came there? That the guy. I'm not going to spoil it. You haven't seen it, but what was the name of the alien race again? I can't remember. The Cheliac.
No, but yeah, it's something like that. The Cheliac were in the previous one a couple of
weeks ago. Right. I can't remember who they were.
You know, in these Star Trek episodes, right? Some episodes they focus on one character, like Troy and and Worf and stuff like that. They have episodes devoted to them. It remains to be seen whether this cartoon Lower Decks is gonna focus on, say, the purple-headed man for one episode without that stupid annoying girl.
We're nearly halfway through.
Exactly.
We're nearly halfway through, and that hasn't happened yet. I assumed that some episodes would focus on the other 3.
Yeah,
at least, and we should have had at least one of those by now.
Yeah, so it remains to be seen. We might be wrong. Next episode might be about the purple-head guy. You never know.
Yeah, what I liked about TNG, obviously they've got nearly twice the running time, but they've got twice the size of a regular cast. And we've got Picard and Worf sort of paired together, loosely paired together. So whilst Picard is trying to appeal to the better nature of these two characters to leave this planet because he believes they're still in danger, and he wants to sort of press that to them and convince them. While they're doing that, Worf, who on the surface couldn't be more different from these two people, he makes himself the house guest and sort of tries his hand a little at diplomacy, and you see him sort of sipping at tea and commenting about their sort of surroundings and things like that. And it's only a couple of scenes, but it just pins it down so beautifully, and it's funny as well. It's funny without, I mean, I know it's a different brand of comedy, but it made me laugh over and over again watching this really quite serious episode of TNG. Where the stakes are pretty high, and the outcome of it is quite serious, but it's still funnier than Lower Decks. Have I got a sense of humour? Has this man not got a sense of humour? Let us know in the comments section. Have I got a sense of humour or not?
You know,
have I got it all right? Have I got it all wrong? I know that I have.
No, you haven't. You haven't got it wrong. You're completely right about this cartoon and about TNG. But as I said, right, they did it right in those days. There was no exact. Well, this is the point. The point we're all trying to make is that there should be a balance in shows now. You know what? It shouldn't favor one side completely, which most shows are, and it shouldn't destroy what thousands and maybe even millions of fans out there like, because I can assure you that the majority of Star Trek fans are not happy with Star Trek. The majority. I'll say that again for the cheap seat. I mean, the majority, right? Huh?
The fan base has shrunk so much because of this. But it's happening everywhere. Doctor Who, Star Wars. The fan base is just withering.
Once more, for the cheap seat,
it's certainly not
the majority of fans. Okay,
I believe that, and this is why Alex Kurtzman, who until quite recently I was giving that man an easy ride, now I consider him to be a massive liability and a liar. He claims that the audience for Star Trek is growing and that they're seeing, what was it, metric proof? That was the expression he used. I am calling bullshit on that, Alex.
Where did you say that?
This was a while ago now. This was after STLV last year. I think you're lying to us, Alex. And
the guy's too busy. The guy's
listen. Every time you hear somebody vaguely normal talk about the movie industry, like I was watching a documentary on Adventures of Baron Munchausen after we watched it on Video Vault, right? And they had Eric Idle on it talking about how he's not in the movie business anymore because he said everybody there is evil and a liar. So like,
sounds like Hollywood.
Listen, I believe Alex Gomez. I'm so sorry though. I'm going to have to run. I have to got something.
All right, mate. No worries.
Okay, well,
my score on this.
Yes, your shields still haven't raised at all, have they, Rabbi?
No. Normally that's a good little code I have going. When my shields go up.
Well, thanks for beaming aboard, and we'll give you a nice plug at the end of the show. We'll catch you next time, my friend.
Okay, thank you very much.
Bye.
Almost went as well.
He removed himself just as I removed him. So yes, two for the price of one. Yes, it is about time to wrap up. I'll just say before anything else, if you enjoyed all of that, let's put this on in his honor. Yes, the Rabbi Sfila Betkin. You can find him at the Sfila Betkin channel, the Rabbi from Another Planet on YouTube. If you type that in, you'll see him. Videos virtually every day. How he keeps that energy level up, I don't know. Yes, he is always like that.
He is.
Like, and subscribe to the Rabbi, please.
He needs to turn his mic down.
No, he's look. He's really funny and he's really passionate. What more do you want? Yeah. So there you go.
Yes, this people like the Rabbi is very much the salt of the earth when it comes to fandom, And yeah, he'll be back next week, I'm certain, because we all can't get enough of this show with that committee coming to talk about it every week.
Well, listen, I'd just like to say, right, to anyone that likes this show, Lower Decks, I'd just like to say I have nothing against you guys, and all power to you if you like this show. If you like this show, fantastic. But I'm allowed to give my opinion. That's all I can say. And so are you.
Yeah, and to be fair, I would like to know, because it's a genuine question. I'd like to know not only who this show is made for, ideally, but I'd like to know who it's appealing to, because there are people out there. I'm sure, I've heard a couple of other podcasts now.
I have,
so I've heard some reviews of it. I know it is appealing to some people. I still couldn't quite figure out where they were coming from, though. So please, if you think we've got this all wrong and we're mean and nasty with no sense of humour, please tell us why you think differently. Seriously, we've got no axe to grind. We want to hear. And if you'd like to come on the show, please do, by all means, have a conversation, enlighten us. We may even see your point of view. That's what it's all about.
We're just grumpy. We're just grumpy old men. That's all it is. Sorry, guys.
But that is what they will say, isn't it? So I would like to get somebody under 30.
I've been on shows. Sorry, I've been on shows with, on Star Trek. I mean, I was on a show with Keith, his podcast, and me and Bostrek was on. And and they really liked Picard, and me and Bostrek didn't. But we didn't insult them. We just said what we felt, and they said what we felt. And, we all agreed to disagree, and that was it. Yeah. That's all we did. I mean, I don't want to insult anyone, as I said, right? I'm entitled to my opinion and they're entitled to theirs. I will never insult the person at all that likes the show.
Yeah, listen, guys, I'm being grumpy, so you lot don't have to. So,
what is the consensus? Have you come across a crutch? I really can't speak today. Have you come across much positivity, Mr. Brown?
To be fair, as I said earlier, it's shit. But there are some really good production values in there.
It's all bad, is it?
If it was proper Trek and it was scripted well, blah 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 blah, it'd be a winner. But
yeah.
It's bollocks, but
can they say? Can it be saved? Can it be saved? We're talking about apparently season 2 is coming. I mean,
I was looking on the. I was looking today.
They're writing it. It doesn't mean they're going to make it.
Exactly. There are 22 episodes listed on Internet Movie Database. Okay. So, I'd like to think episode 22 would be the bestest ever. But
because animation is expensive. I mean, it's you could. It's
cheaper On a side note, Abby Titmus.
Yes.
She's producing the animation. So if you have a look on the end credits, Titmus Animation. Just like to drop that in there.
Abby Titmus produces animation. Then.
Yeah, that's what she's up to these days. Yeah, Titmus Animation.
Wow.
Mine's somewhat blown. Yes, if anybody can't remember who we're talking about,
joke, by the way, that's a joke.
Google Abby Titmus. Yes, with this show, if they have made, it's possible. You see, with animation, with putting teams together that make animation, it's quite expensive and time-consuming. It's quite possible that they've actually made 2 seasons back to back, simply because of it can be more cost-effective. That could be why we've got
Titmus Animation is a Canadian company, by the way.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Abby, if you're watching. We remember you. We miss you, Abby.
She's moved to Vancouver.
Oh, okay. Oh, you never know then. You never know. Bringing it round to the finale, as we all do. At the end of every episode of this show, I like to ask people, where and how are your shields holding now? For example, my shields have been blown all the way down to 22% last week. But this week, my shields have raised slightly. They're at 38% after a better episode. I'd like to ask you, Mr. Brown, where are your shields at the moment for Lower Decks generally?
They are malfunctioning big time. Listen, we can still fly through space without shields, but I'd probably, a scale of 1 to 100.
What's your 100 percentage like on the Enterprises?
I'm going to be generous. I'll give it 39.
Oh, so we're around the same level then.
Yeah,
And Mega Geek, how the Mega Shields holding? What percentage are we?
Well, last week I was running for the skate pod last week, but this week, as I said, I did enjoy this episode. I got to admit, just like you, Dan, I enjoyed it. It wasn't as bad as the others. Yeah. But as I said, it still holds that agenda. So I guess my shields is up because it was last week. It was 2%, wasn't it? I guess it's up to about 3%. Maybe 4%. Yeah, because as I said, I did enjoy this episode, but I still see what's going on, and that's what spoils it for me. I really do see what's going on, and it's like, as I said, it's like when you didn't notice that the black and white minstrel show was more than just a variety show. Do you know what I mean? So it's like that to me, now my eyes are open, I can see things and I can't unsee it, unfortunately, and you're right, Dan. Sometimes I watch a show and I go, oh no. And I might be seeing something that's not there, so they put me in a position and they've made me confused. These people. But
they're the ones who they have muddied the waters and they have weaponized our entertainment and our popular culture, and they have turned something which is supposed to be for escapism into sometimes a little bit of a chore. And this isn't why any of us are here on the Final Frontier or talking about it now. We're talking about it from a place of love after decades worth, probably, of watching and enjoying Star Trek.
We had it good. We had it good.
We did have it good. I'd like to think. Go on,
they act like in the past there wasn't strong women in TV shows or movies. That's what they're acting like, and it's crazy. All you have to do is look at Voyager. I mean, Janeway was a powerful, well capable person in the Star Trek universe. So was Seven of Nine before she turned gay and murderous. Murderous. And Picard was a straight, bald-headed, he loved everything, and he had ethics, and he believed in Starfleet, and they've turned all that to crap.
He's an apologist. He's an apologist.
Yeah, it's really bad. I don't understand where this is coming from at all. I've
always thought that Catherine Janeway was a really great character. And
she was
above all that strong woman stuff. She just felt like a real woman, a real human being, and I could certainly relate to her.
And as I said, if they were into this woke stuff and they were, wanting to put the minority in front, how comes they haven't had a new Star Trek show with a black male lead? They haven't, have they? It's all about the female stuff. They have a black female, but they'll never have a black lead, a black captain in a Star Trek show. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're writing it now. Who knows? But they seem to be pushed in the background now.
Didn't Madonna say many, many years ago that women have the power? They just don't realize.
Look. Human beings have the power, right? Men and women are different. Of course they're different, right? But they should respect each other and they do help each other. Marriages, when people are married, they help each other.
This is what I have to remind people of sometimes. Men and women are perfectly capable of working together and making wonderful things happen and making each other happy for sometimes an entire lifetime. Believe it or not,
exactly.
That's ended on a somewhat more profound note. This morning note than I was imagining today. But yes, if you have enjoyed this video on any level, even if you've just been hate watching because you think we're all horrible, whatever else, then thank you. Thank you.
White males.
I'd appreciate if you hit the like button, give that a good old smash for me.
White males. I'm not white.
Yes. that's it. Yes, we're what would you say? We're ratio representative.
Inclusive. We're being inclusive.
That's it. Yes, that's it. So yes, you could hit the like for that alone, and let us know what you think of the video and our comments, our observations. If you think we've got it all right or all wrong or something in between, let us know in the comment section. We love it. be back here next time for more Warp Drive, more Lower Decks. If you're up for it, then so are we. And more TNG. Let us know what you're watching too. I'm watching TNG Season 3. You could be watching Voyager Series 8, Series 8, Series 7, whatever you're watching. I bet it was a bad example then, wasn't it, Hadley? Bad example. But you know what I mean. Let us know what you're watching Star Trek-wise, whether it's old or new. We'll give you our honest opinions, whatever. Mr. Brown, thanks for joining us. We'll invite you back before the end of the season. You're not going to get away that easy with just the one episode. and Mega Geek, do you want to plug your channel again, my friend? Tell them what they're missing.
My channel is called Rebecca Gold Channel, and it's a 5 episodes award-winning show. People say I don't big it up enough. Say it's an award-winning show. 5 episodes, not taxing, and it has a female lead. Would you believe that? You would think that me talking today would be against female leads, but I've actually made a show with a female lead. So there you go. Why don't you watch it?
6? Will there be an episode 6?
I'm hoping so. I'm still fighting because of the bear bug. We can't do anything. So, but once it's all gone, we'll.
Even funny. Yes, who or what will we be faced with next week? Episode 5. And who will be beaming aboard? I think I know who it could be. If he's awake this time. You're going to love that. Yes.
Where is
Thanks
Noel?
for joining us. Yes. Don't blow it. Yes, don't.
Oh, sorry.
Don't give us the spoilers. Thanks for joining us again. And yes, there's a whole playlist of these videos now. Warp Drive and Warp Drive Live. And of course, there's Type over 40-hour Doctor Who stuff and various other things on the way in the next couple of weeks. You're not going to want to miss that if you're into sci-fi and fantasy and all things geeky, just like what we are. But for now, yes, that's it for week 3. Meet you back here on the Final Frontier again next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.